Before installing the software and configuring the system, it is advisable to connect and test all devices to be used with the POS, such as printers, barcode scanners, scales, customer display, etc., and install the drivers provided by the manufacturer and thus ensure that they are fully operational before installing the software. After installing the software using the supply setup, we enter for the first time to the Kildar POS system using the corresponding icon in the window. Here we can choose the language and location on which it will be installed. Using the New Setup option, we can create a new system configuration. The Demos option allows testing the application, selecting and using a list of pre-configured demo systems for different scenarios. This option should only be used if you want to test the system, and it must not be used to create a permanent installation. We will select New Setup, and with this option the system will create the database files for the first time and proceed to open a configuration wizard that will guide you through its setup process. The wizard lets you choose from 4 options. Perform a single installation, where a single computer will be used to input information and for billing. To install a server, so that then through a local area network multiple POS or workstations can be connected to this server. To connect a POS to a server previously installed, and to connect a back-office workstation to a server previously installed. If you want to install multiple POS stations, you must first install the computer that will act as a server and then proceed to install on another POS or workstation to connect to a server. We will select the single installation of a single POS. Then we will press continue and the system will allow us to select the product version. It can be the version Kildar POS for a retail, restaurant for gastronomy, store version for wholesalers, and hospitality version for hotels and reserve management. In this case, we will install a POS version for retail. In turn, we can select the Lite, Pro, or Enterprise version within the product, which offer different levels of functionality. In this case, we will select the Lite version, the most basic, and we could select additional modules that can be purchased separately. We will press Next and select here which is the main printer to issue receipts. We must choose at least one printer, which will be the one that issues the receipts generated by the POS. This printer can be connected by Windows drivers, both local or network, by POS drivers, which must be pre-configured for the printer, or we can simply choose no printing. In that case, the system will emulate the selling scenario, but will not generate a printed sales document. We will select Windows, and then we can choose a pre-configured profile for specific models, so that the typography and format of Kildar documents fit these particular models. We will select the Kildar printer and press Next. In this window, we can configure different types of devices associated with the POS, for example cash drawer, magnetic stripe readers, scales, keyboards, etc. Many of these can be recognized automatically by the operating system, so sometimes it is not needed to configure these fields. Other devices, such as client's display, can be configured at this point, and we can select from a list a device preset with the system. We will press Next. Now we will continue with the selection of the operating mode of the point of sale. Here we can select between 2 options, the first being direct billing, where the POS acts as a self-service cash register. The items are sold and the receipt is printed directly. The other option is Open Sales Node, which allows to record the sale of products at a terminal and defer payment by generating shifts to a central payment POS, meaning the issue of the document is not performed at the same point where the information is entered. The most common option, direct selling, is also associated with the printing mode. We can print at the same time we are capturing information. If an OPOS or physical printer is being used, if we are using a Windows printer, that is not possible and we can only print on a deferred basis, meaning the document is printed when we finish capturing information. Then we must indicate if sellers are managed. Traditionally, in a self-service retail there are no sellers, only the cashier is identified. But if there were sellers and we wanted them to be identified at the time of the sale, we should select Identify Sellers. Alternatively, we can select a third option, to block the terminal every time an operation is performed and that the seller must unlock, so the POS terminal is always locked and there should always be a salesperson to enter his password or card before he can start any operation. We will press Next, and in this window we must enter the data of the company. We will enter the company name, the address, what is the tax rate of the state, and if there is a local tax rate of the county. These are the tax values that will be related to the items by default. We must enter tax identification of the company as the code of employer or tax identification number. In addition, we must enter a password for the first entry into the system and confirm. We can enter the logo of the company at this point as an image file that will be presented at the point of sale and in reports generated. Once this process is complete, the Finish button is pressed to record the settings. The system performs various configuration and data updating functions and prepares to run the application for the first time. Once the process finishes, the Exit button is pressed and the system starts the POS for the first time. When entering for the first time, the system will consult us about the activation key. The system can be activated at this time, can be deferred for later, with which it is allowed to operate for 7 days, or we can select a demo mode, which can evaluate the system for 45 days with certain restrictions. In this case, we will select Activate Later. The key entry means the entry of the license granted on online validation via the Internet. We enter for the first time into the system and we will observe the operators defined. In this case, only the administrator created during the setup wizard is available. We will select it and enter the key indicated in the wizard. Any of these operations can be performed using the touch screen or keyboard. When entering for the first time, a menu of administrative configuration options is presented, and it is convenient to uncheck the option to display this menu every time we enter and be able to operate continuously at the point of sale. We will uncheck the option and enter to the point of sale. A screen is presented where we can enter the codes of articles for sale, a list of products sold in this operation, and 3 columns of buttons to perform actions are shown. Within these commands, we have the option to add a product. This way, we can start operating with the system directly entering products at the point of sale. When selecting this option, a window appears to enter data for the new product. It should indicate a barcode, which can be input from a barcode reader or manually. We indicate the item description and alternatively it may be associated with a department, which are preset in the system, but we should change their name using the plus button. The system displays a list of pre-configured departments in the list to the right. We will select the first and so we can place the desired description for this department. It is presented as an alternative to create a touchscreen group to display all products of this department grouped on the touchscreen menu. We check this option and press the Save and Return button, so the new department is updated and the newly created touchscreen group is associated with the desired product. We can assign an alternative code to access this product by keyboard or barcode reader. We will indicate it will be presented in the touchscreen menu and the retail price. We can also modify the rate of state taxes and or local associated with a particular supplier. In the same way we did with departments, we can press the plus button and in that way relate it. In this case, there is only one supplier, but using the new option, we can create another supplier. We will enter the data of the company and press Save and Return to update the supplier associated with the product. Finally, we can associate a picture from a list of pre-created images in the Products folder inside the System Installation folder. At this point, we can save the article and return to the Sales window or continue creating items. We will press enter and the system updates the window showing the newly created product. By clicking on the product, we add it to the sale. In this way, we can load and edit products dynamically in the touchscreen and even define new groups to associate selling products. Once a retail product is loaded, we can proceed to close the sale using the total or F1 button. The total of the sale will be displayed, allowing us to enter multiple values or payment amounts with different payment methods, or simply use one of the quick options available on the bottom of the window. We select cash and the system issues the sales receipt. We can add another product. The system will repeat the information from the last loaded product and thus load similar products with alternative descriptions that are associated to the same department. Pressing save and continue, we can continue loading a third product. If we want to organize the touchscreen on our own, we can use the Add button to create a new group on the touch menu. We can create up to 12 catalogs in the system. Selecting the catalog and pressing the Add button, a group within the selected catalog is created. We will define the description of this group as well as the new product. In the department case, we must create a new one for beverages. Having created the touchscreen group, it is not necessary to check this option, but what we can create is a shortcut to allow sales by department. In that way, we can sell any drink. The system will ask for a price and description at the time of sale. We will save and return. Now we will change the selling price and the image. We save and the system updates the information. At this point, we have two touchscreen groups and a direct access to sell drinks generically. If we select beverages, we find Diet Coke. When pressing the beverages shortcut, the system allows us to enter a description and price. We can delete a product by selecting them from the list of purchased products and pressing the Erase button, and so correct entry errors. We can use the search button to search by product description, such as the Coke we created. We press total and select another payment method. At this point, we can enter a numeric value and pressing the %discount button, the discount is applied. With this cash button, we can close the sale quickly. With the cash button, we can close the sale quickly. Whenever a document is issued, the system will go back to the sales window, ready to load new products, showing the amount of the last operation and change. Using the back button, we can return to the document selection window and choose another type of proof associated with the POS, for example, returns. On the right, we can select the admin button. We are presented with a new window, where we can view reports, perform the close of day, use system tools, or access the full back-office system, where all administrative functions are found. Pressing pause, we return to the previous window. On the System Data option, we are allowed to define secondary information, such as an operator. It is important to define it as the operator created by default. The administrator has all rights and privileges, such as defining new products, operator, change prices, etc., which is not usually suitable for all system users. The system displays a window that allows us to manage existing operators and create a new one using the New button at the top right. The alias is requested and the user level to which it belongs. In this case, operator, which means the user can make sales but cannot access administrative functions. Then we must provide a password and repeat it. The option of entering an ID for user cards is present. In the case that the same are used to identify users, it can be magnetic, stripe, or barcode. If for some reason the card should be changed in the future, it is necessary to return to this window and edit this file with the new information from the user's card. We could associate an image and finally we enter the last and first name. Pressing save and return, the new operator is defined. Finally, if more configuration options are desired, there is a full back-office available with all administrative functions, a separate application that can be launched from the POS in this instance. Certain reporting options are available within the POS in the Reports option. For example, the option Daily Closing Report, selecting the dates a consolidated report is presented with the total of sales by department, document, and means of payment received with tax discrimination. We can print the report directly from this window. Other reports, such as sales per hour, allow us to see the distribution of operations by hour, with half an hour ranges with the amount of sales with an average ticket.